Hi guys, how's it going? I don't like what's happening right now. There's some FUD in the market, but it's legitimate, and I think that's what's going to make the rest of this false rally happen. Um, Look, and I want to address this in a second. This Canada freezing 20 million in cash or in Bitcoin. I'd like to talk about that in a second. But what I'd like to talk about first is Biden believes Putin will decide to attack Ukraine in coming days. This just came out like super not very long ago. Um, and this might be because long-term weather, it's freezing up out there. Let's see what the Kiev. Kiev is not the ideal spot to actually check. Okay, it's quite warm, so that is not where you'd want to be. I mean, like let's go look at uh, let's go see what the weather is in Sumi. Sumi. This would be probably along the border. Yeah, Sumi, Ukraine. And if it's cold enough, okay, it's 5. Because if it's well, see, this is the issue. It's muddy, right? If it's raining, it's muddy and the tanks can't get through. So this could prevent things from happening. I'm not sure. But what this article says is that he plans to invade after um, after the Olympics are done. Also, I have to say that Biden looks like the oldest guy in the world. Like he barely looks like he's holding on. But yeah, um, I'm not sure. Yeah, so about Friday, the United States believes that Russia will carry out attack on Ukraine in coming days. The Biden administration has previously declined to predict Putin's play. Yeah, second one. All right, so like after the Olympics, basically, is when they plan to invade Russia. And I've said this a bunch of times. I think Russia it's inevitable to invade. And just think about it. Okay, you put on like I'm really taking Russia's side here because well, yeah, sure, you can put up these okay, Russia has Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2. Nord Stream 2 is not operational right now because the states are getting in the way. Nord Stream 1 goes through Ukraine. If they shut that off, all of Europe no longer has energy. That is not going to happen. The sanctions that the US puts on Russia will not do what they hope it'll do. It just won't be enough. And Russia, like you can let's talk about a Serbia. Maybe, yeah, sure. If you have to sanction a Serbia, you could do it. It's a small country. It's trading partners. Russia's a huge physical country. It has its own resource, like a bunch of resources, natural resources. It has a straight pipeline that provides 40% or something of all the natural gas for Europe. They're good. It doesn't matter. The sanctions still good. And let's just talk about what you get if you get Ukraine. You get so much. You get security, you get people, you get the economic resources. It's a done and straight up deal. There's nothing complicated about this. Um, so I think it's going to happen. Biden says it's going to happen. I suspect it's going to happen. The U.S. and I know this is going to annoy some people is a declining power. That's according to this book by Ray Dalio, and I don't disregard it. I think it's true. The reason we're all into Bitcoin is because we believe that the U.S. dollar is going to fall apart, right? Because it's going to be printed too much. It's going to be similar to a Roman story. What happened to Rome, right? They printed too much, right? In those times it was silver coins, but what they do is they recycle those silver coins. They take them, remelt them, and make 2 coins, but mix more and more bronze into it. And people then wanted more coins because they realized that the silver would rub off. So they would want more and more coins, and that was inflation, right? So instead of 1 silver coin for 10 loaves of bread, it was like 10 silver coins for 1 loaf of bread or something like that. You get what I mean? This is inflation. And Russia understands this, that the US is a declining power and is less observant of it. And we talked about this in previous videos. Russia needs to do this right now. It doesn't have a choice, right? If it doesn't do it now, it's going to lose everything it has. It's already going to lose everything, but it can postpone this because the natives don't have a high growth rate, right? I think we talked about this in the last chart. And who does? It's the Muslims that live in this country. And so the Muslims will overpopulate the native Moscovians, basically the Russians. And vast majority of this country is not even, it's not even like populated by anybody. Anyways, this is what I wanted to discuss. And yes, okay, let's quickly discuss Canada here. This is not accurate. These titles are not accurate. The reason they're not accurate is you can't freeze a Bitcoin account, right? You can't freeze it. There's no sovereignty over a Bitcoin account. Like, here's the Bitcoin accounts. You can't actually freeze it, right? If I have $10 million and I'm a criminal, you can't freeze this thing, right? The only thing you can do is prevent me from taking it to exchanges that this country is friendly with, Canada, let's say, right? I'm gonna make a separate video on this though, because I think it should get some traction because it's important for people to hear. That's everything I want to talk about. I will see you shortly. This market, I know it's coming down.